right. Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. No, do not adjust your sets in front of you. It is me. I am me. I am back. It's been a bit. To my left, you're right. Our own special knockout, Alisha, is here.
Yo.
Yo. How you been? It's been a bit.
I know. You've been a busy man. It's good. And things are going good. Crazy, but good. But isn't that life?
This is true. You know, you wake up, you're happy it's a new day, and, well, shoot. Well, John Palmer says, wow, that was loud. Well, hey, you know, we had to wake up everyone that was waiting. So I apologize if it was too loud. You know, I'm still getting used to all these new bells and whistles here. But yes, that is the new 2025 intro. It's short but sweet. Hope you guys dig. Yeah, I've heard there's some new faces in here. There's been some new faces joining us over on my sister podcast or my brother podcast, whatever you want to call it. The old Ramblers Unleashed. We've had some people going back and forth. Some people wondering, is J-Bone coming back? Is J-Bone cheating on his own podcast? Yes, I'm cheating on my own damn podcast. My gosh. Come on, people. Jeez. This is podcasting. This is not Days of Our Lives or whatever. Oh my God. It is the one, the only Anna Reed. Hello.
Hi.
Long time no see. Good to see you. No, Aaron Jack. And by the way, good to see you, Aaron Jack. No Bone Dana tonight. No, we are just seeing Bone Man in all his glory. Yes, I am the real 23. That is correct, Bell's boy. All right. Well, shoot, it is a new day in this era of TNA, Alisha. How excited are you about all the news that has been going on lately?
I feel like I'm pretty even keeled about it all.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, let's talk about a few news things. Of course, there's some new faces. There's some new faces that showed up tonight. We'll get to that as the show goes on. I'm not going to cover all that right now. But there is some interesting things happening, and it is sparking some rumors. And just for everyone, you know, drinking the tea, stay in your lane, just settle down. But there is, well, first let's talk about the re-signing of the uncrowned, and I say uncrowned, King of TNA. Frankie Kazarian re-signs with TNA.
Fabulous.
That's what I say. I think that is absolutely
that
fabulous.
Raises my serotonin levels.
This serotonin, right? When she saw the news, she screamed serotonin at the top of her lungs, and everyone around her went, "Yeah, what?"
Oh, I didn't do that, but you know.
Oh, come on, don't lie. Oh no, wait, that was me. No. Okay, and something that I have not, and I'm sure it's been talked about on here. Well, I know it's been talked about on here. I made the cover for it, and you guys covered it handsomely, by the way, beautifully there. Yeah, but TNA and WWE announcing the multi-year partnership, and that got a lot of heads turning, which I think what causes some of and it segues into the other piece of news that I'm about to talk about too. I mentioned that because I haven't had a chance to talk about that on here at all, but I am very excited about the partnership. Where it leads to, who knows? Mm-hmm. We've seen a dose of that in 2024, which has been fine. Some of it, you know, Some of it fun, some of it kind of I think, you know, they're throwing some stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. But I think a majority of it went pretty smooth, especially with the knockout stuff. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're going to take it to a new level. This is a multi-year partnership, which now it's, you know, people are starting to wonder who's really pulling the strings here. But with this dose of news here, that tickets are now on sale. People were wondering about this, Alisha.
Okay.
Because there was no tickets for anything going on sale for the month of February.
I remember this. Yeah, it was buzz.
Yeah. People were wondering about this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what's going to happen between that and March? You can't just have no shows, no matter how much you tape between tonight and tomorrow night.
Surely.
So, and it's like, you know, this is a new year. You got to have some content, you know, to keep them, you know, full steam ahead. So now the news came out within the last 24 hours. The tickets are on sale now for TNA Impact Live from Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. February 20th.
My jaw has stayed still.
Your jaw does not quiver.
And not for any lack of excitement, but with this pairing, I've already seen it for a couple of weeks now. People already assuming that this was kind of going to happen. So that's only why I say that. That's good. I mean, like I said, this can only be a good thing.
It's a good studio, and for what is all happening going on right now with, we'll just say the weather, you know, it's putting the freeze on a lot of traveling, no pun intended.
We are in a polar vortex.
Yeah, we are. Seriously.
For a couple more days.
What was that? What was that movie that came out? There was this horrible freeze that went across the whole upper part.
God, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember.
Like,
End of Days? No, that's a horror movie.
They flooded New York, and then it all froze.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I just can't remember the name. Elijah Wood was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, it was.
They had to get south of the border because of the northern.
The father had to rescue his son and his friends, and they were hunkered down in the library. And
someone help! We'll get hyperfixated, and then oh my god, it all spins out of control.
Antonio Biggers says, "Yeah, you're snowing in Florida, or northern part of Florida, which is weird." Yeah, exactly, it is. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
RJ's World, which I believe is new here. So welcome. Thank you. The day after tomorrow. Somewhere Critical Sting is going. I knew that. I almost had it.
Yes. Well, yeah. So anyway, travel is going to be strange. Make sure no matter where you go, you bundle up. Have a good jacket.
Please be careful out there.
Gloves.
No matter where you go or where you are and it's affecting you. Yeah. Please be safe. So yeah, some tapings are going to be going on, and I don't imagine that's going to be like a permanent home. I think that's just maybe something to fill in the gaps here and there. Mm-hmm. But you know, this is a partnership with WWE. But why would you not, in the most positive way, without like, trying to steal anything from the WWE? In a good way, why would you not use those resources?
True.
You know, why would you not do that? So I just think that's smart. There's a lot of people, and I saw several opinions tonight. I won't say who said them, just for the sake of privacy. But in our own little chat, it did come up, and there were some people that said, "Hey, that looks a lot like it was possibly produced by WWE tonight." I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, it did run darn smooth, you know. And for like,
I guess it just had the feel of it. It's hard to explain. I guess if you've seen WWE long enough, you kind of see the style and the influence and stuff like that. And it kind of felt like, as though it had its Impact feel to it, it's hard to explain.
No,
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing by any means. It just felt really, I don't know.
It had a bigger feel to it. Just production, everything. I mean, look at where they were. They were in a real arena. They weren't in just some.
It was live.
Some podunk place, and not knocking any of the places they've been to before, which were fine, but you look at the stage, the way it was lit up, you look at the lighting, and it's okay. I had
the production.
I had goosebumps the first like 5 straight minutes of the show, just looking at everything and how it looked. I was like, oh my God, this feels big. And I think TNA
You're nailing it. That's what it is.
It's TNA fans have been waiting for this for so long, just to get that feeling back of it
being what we always believed it has.
Here we are.
Like, it feels like it's getting big again, and I feel like the people who've been around for a long time kind of have been waiting for this moment of vindication to a certain degree, knowing that the show could be what it was all those years ago. And it's a big moment, especially, I mean, it goes without saying that some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, but either way, it's a big deal, and it's like a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, when I, really jumped back in and started really paying attention to TNA, I knew what was going on. And it was a very tumultuous time, within the time just prior to Anthem kicking things in again, with stuff with Jeff Jarrett, things going on with the Hardys when that was all going to hell. I mean, it was entertaining, but we knew it was all really, it was not a good time in TNA. There was a lot of negativity. There was a lot of question marks. Where was the company going? Would the company be live next week? Who's really pulling the strings? And to get back to this place where you got that many seats in there and the lights and just, oh man, it just felt so damn good. And if you're catching that same vibe as me, please smash that like button, smash that sub button. We are fully in for this ride, and it's so good to be here for it. So whether WWE is helping or not, it goes without saying. I think it looks amazing. It looks amazing. So yeah, tickets are on sale now, February 20th, 21st, and then stuff will pick back up in middle of March for Sacrifice, Friday, March 14th for Sacrifice on TNA Plus in El Paso, Texas at the El Paso County Coliseum. There we go. They're spending a lot of time down south, but that's okay.
I mean, you have to think about it. They go kind of seasonally, so in that area, it would normally be somewhat warmer.
Yeah. Except for now, but yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. That's not what this show's about,
right? So, and then it goes on to Missouri at the end of March, and from there, man, that's not too far away. That's tempting. St. Joseph, Missouri. All right. So, anyways, back to a little bit of news. So we talked about the new dates. We talked about Frankie Kazarian. So yeah, there's people wondering, of course, and I'm just jumping on the little speculation bandwagon here for part of it. People are like, well, it's only going to be a matter of time before WWE buys TNA. Well, that may be the case, but I don't think, in a sense, it would be WWE buying TNA. It would be TKO.
Let's just slow down and enjoy it for what it is right now.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times this kind of feels like a horse before the cart train of thought, and let's just adjust to what it is now, okay, guys?
Let's do that. See, this is why I appreciate Alisha. So every time my brain starts going off like that, she goes, "Whoa!"
You gotta reel it in.
That's the 12-year-old me on the couch going, "Hey, what if?" Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Let's dive into tonight's review of tonight's live TNA from San Antonio, Texas. This looked like another sellout crowd. I tell you what, looked amazing. So starts out with Gia Miller interviewing the director of Authority, Santino Marella, and he promised a few surprises. And that's honestly all I wanted. I wanted to see a few new faces and see some great matches, and I don't think we're asking for much,
Surely.
You got your first live crowd in eight years. Shoot, let's go. Let's get some surprises. Bells boy, thank you so much. Whoops, wrong thing here. And hello, John Palmer. I don't want to be rude and not say hi. All right, Bells boy with a super chat here. Thank you so much. Greetings, Alisha and J-Bone. Wow, what a live show. Tessa did a killer promo. True. Joe Hendry era has begun. True. Josh got betrayed. Oof, we'll get into that. And Cora's after Masha. Welcome, Mance and SDL. Welcome back, Mustafa Ali. And Mid Cardona. Peace. And thank you so much. And thank you, Anna Reed. Thank you so much for the super sticker. What does it say? Okay, so I can't see it in the chat here, but it says pair character doing a shaka sign with its hand saying cool.
Nice.
So now I have to actually go in the other tab I have open here. Oh, sure enough, that is a pair with a headband waving back and forth. That is
love it. Thank you, guys.
It's so funny how it describes what it is, but it won't show it. It's an absolute riot. And we got Bison in here. What's up, brother?
Wow, it is late for you.
Yeah,
or early, rather.
Early.
Good morning.
Late. Yes. So, okay. So we got some surprises here. Okay, so we're starting out here with Joe Hendry coming out, and he's getting a surprise from the Milan Miracle himself, and finding out who his first challenger was going to be. We find out it's Matt Cardona. Now, when Matt Cardona showed up, what was your reaction, Alisha?
Good timing.
Good.
Is that appropriate? I feel like it was good timing on his part, and just the man Joe Hendry wanted to see. So this should be interesting, right?
Right. So here. Sullivan, what's up? Here, I'm trying to click off of stuff and stuff keeps popping up. All right. So yeah, I was happy about seeing Matt Cardona. I wasn't jumping up and down about it, but he always looks great lately. So, as long as, he always says he's always ready. So as long as he's always ready, then let's go. That's, let's have a good match. And I didn't want a 5-star match. I just wanted a decent match. And I feel like that's what we got. Not to jump too far ahead, but
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that's kind of assuming what you're going to get with Matt Cardona. I felt like these two are going to be pretty evenly stacked against each other as far as talent wise. You've both been around for a while, And then there was stuff about Eric Young talking to Macklin backstage and all the drama with Josh Alexander. Is he worth saving? Should we just kick him to the curb? And there was a difference of opinions here. Steve Macklin is like, we don't owe him anything. This place doesn't owe him anything. Look at what he did. Look at what he did to you. Look what he did to me. Eric Young. See, that's why I love both these guys, but that's why Eric Young is special, because he's been around a little more. He sees things a little differently. He's like, there's something about him worth saving. Let's at least listen to him. Let's at least hear him out, is what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, Josh shows up, shakes Eric's hand. Macklin's like, I don't think so. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah. He's not going to get
There's history there, and I mean, but I guess it would take Macklin to come around to kind of see, because he was always the villain in their fights. So now that the shoe's on the other foot, can he be as forgiving?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a different way of thinking on both parts now. So
the shoe is literally on the other foot, where they were in opposite roles, and a peculiar timing that Josh all of a sudden had a change of heart.
Yeah.
After that extravagant fight with on brain farting. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was right. I'm like the musician.
When did the musician join TNA? That's a good way to remember it. And then that infamous song
it's a vibe
from the early 2000s that went so nuclear. But
yes.
Good stuff. Anyways. So yeah, and then let's see, Nick Nemeth pops his head in here. He's going to give his thoughts about everything going on. What's going on with him next week? I thought it was going to be this week, but he said next week, so I misunderstood that while I was watching it. And let's see here. We come up to the first match of the evening then, in this new live era of TNA. We got Masha Slamovich and Spitfire versus Rosemary and Heather and Ash by Elegance. So all sorts of knockouts action here. What did you think of this first match?
Well, you skipped a part, didn't you?
Did I?
Gia Miller waiting outside of Nick Nemeth's locker room, and Ryan comes out.
I just mentioned that he was going to be talking next week. Yeah, I didn't go into the whole thing about.
Okay, we're not doing that tonight. That's fine. Yeah. All right, yeah. Well, this is fun.
I just didn't mention Gia Miller. That's all.
Yeah. Whatever. Shame on you for not mentioning Scoops.
I'm sorry. She's special. She's come back from a lot. That slap from Tessa really rattled her. So no, we love Scoops.
It's terrible.
She's great. Please.
Well, anyway, moving on to this first match. This is what we call a platypus tag team, but it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to put Ash and Heather by Elegance in a pairing with Rosemary. I found that quite entertaining, and the fact that they were able to overcome their fear and work things out with Rosemary. Ash taking lead and leading by excellence. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry, guys. This is silly. Silly, and I love it.
It was. You thought it would have been half the match, them just like running from Rosemary and Rosemary going, what?
and like them all having to like point each other like, hey, like just scold each other like children, but then they managed to get it together. And I mean, granted, someone came and kind of helped them get the one over, but that's why you always got to be in your guard, man. The game's getting stepped up.
It's true. Yeah. Cora Jade showed up, shook things
up. Distractions in wrestling.
What? Distractions?
You always got to be ready.
And that's the thing. They were not Matt Cardona ready, They could maybe learn a lesson from him, hey? Because he's always ready. So yeah. Oh, I do want to reference one thing, and I was very thankful. And you know what I'm going to go to?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, as soon as I do, well, thank you, Swag.
Sure.
I want to quick jump in with this and before far away from me. Thank you for the super chat. Very, very much appreciated. It says Luna's snap German suplex are insane. Good match.
Oh, she's wonderful.
She is. The more I watch her, the more I am absolutely impressed with Luna. She is something else. For a while when I saw that they signed her and not her tag team cohorts,
right?
And that name is slipping for me right now. But you know who I'm talking about. The guys that she came with originally, and we thought they were going to sign, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, okay, let's see what she did, because I knew nothing about her. I wasn't going to judge her. Right,
of course.
Well, let's see we'll see what happens. And wow, she is really
very talented.
Yeah, she is tough. She in some ways kind of reminds me of an early version of Jordan Grace when she first showed up.
It's fun seeing the evolvement, especially I feel like it was a good fit putting Jody and her together. They complement each other very well. Obviously, they're both very punk rock, so close. Yes, but anyway, and they've got a good vibe. And they're both very talented. And okay, so I lost my train of thought, but I've got it again. I'm sorry. They've got a good vibe together, but also we're watching two people evolve together and how far they've come. And again, comparing it to Jordan, where Jordan started towards where she left. Wow. Talk about nothing but up. And that applies to all these ladies, it's like seeing them evolve and really becoming entertainers on TV every week. It's exciting.
Yeah. So, Antonio Baker here says subculture. Yeah, I hope they sign because apparently they got their visas now. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And unfortunately in the world of professional wrestling and, visas and all that stuff can take a while. That stuff doesn't happen overnight. So we'll see. But yeah, so this was fun. And one thing I was going to reference is the entrance of Masha Slamovich. and how you said in the private chat on Facebook that
I'm
she
not
looked
100% on this, but I'm pretty sure because I've noticed the thing with her gear is that it's resembling old school wrestlers, and her last set was definitely Shawn Michaels, and I'm foggy on the one before that, but I think the coat more than the gear, but like it's Alex Wright, right? Berlin.
Right. It's when it was like Alex Wright's a second like character in the latter days of WCW, which was
Right.
Berlin. It was
Yeah.
a darker German version. Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the shades, the jacket. Yeah, I remember that.
It's the vibe anyway. I could be totally wrong. It could be just her own thing, but that's the vibe. And I don't know. I'm just associating it because she does do those references in her gear.
It totally reminded me of like Matrix too. You know?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Matrix 5.
The dark glasses and trench coat look is very
well, especially because like her
like the techno goth.
Right. Yeah. And her entrance now is like a heavy, like technical
dark
vibe.
Techno.
Yeah, techno. Sorry, I couldn't say it.
I used to go to raves, and there's just so many subgenres that it is something.
I went through a techno phase for about 5 minutes in my teens. Fun stuff.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
There was what the hell is that band? KMFDM.
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
No.
Don't like them, eh?
Mm-mm.
What about MDFMK? That was when Tim Skold was like the lead, and I don't know.
Surely.
Music drama. Fun stuff.
Not my bag, babe.
Okay. So, but yeah, nonetheless, good match. But here's the finish. We get Ash by Elegance pinning. And pardon me for forgetting which one, but pinned one half of Spitfire, winning the match, which automatically makes them number one contenders again. Say, I guess this isn't done yet, which is fine.
But then we got to talk about why, though, is because Cora Jade came down.
Cora Jade.
That's who I now recognize as Cora Jade.
Yeah. Cora Jade came down, made the distraction, which, caused...
She tried to pull a Masha, but I think it would have been cooler if Cora Jade had done what she used to do on the indies, is put a picture of them in a little tiny coffin and hand it to them, like after I think she whooped their asses and shit.
Oh, that'd be old school.
When she used to go by Elena Black, yeah.
That's right. She used to come out with that, didn't she?
Yeah.
For those of you that...
It was like it had a tarot card in it or something like that.
Yeah. She had a match in the old Impact.
Right. Like before she signed with WWE, yeah.
Yeah. 5 or 6 years ago when she had the old gimmick. And
yeah, look at her thriving.
Yeah. She's doing good now. She's doing good. So it's like, I can't wait for her to like say an interview someday, be like, yeah, I went through a goth phase once.
Well, I mean, isn't she still kind of like alternative? That's what I got the vibe of. Like purple hair and piercings and stuff. Tattoos. Okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I
just thought it was more of a like modern.
But she could go like a little reference to her old thing and be like, hey, you want to get crazy? I can get crazy too, Let's get some edge. I mean, she's done death matches, guys. Like, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, she used to come down to the ring before she got injured with flipping barbed wire on her. I don't know. I got the
anyway.
So we're gonna see. We don't know where it's gonna take place, when it's gonna take place, but it's gonna lead up to Masha Slamovich versus Cora Jade, which should be absolutely amazing. Should be great. Should be great. And props to Team Elegance for number one wearing the Cowboys cheerleaders outfits at the pay-per-view, and then like doing like the part 2 of that tonight. That was very entertaining. That was fun. Let's see. What do we got next here? So then we hear from Josh Alexander. He comes out with Williams and Icarus, and he's trying to explain to him that he's taken off, he's done, and
on the road.
They're not happy about that. They're not happy about that. Leads to an attack, a beatdown, and in comes EY for the save. So then, here's Josh. He's just trying to make his exit and just trying to, like, look, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I'm taking off. And then here comes Eric Young. Hey, we're tagging next week against these guys. And Josh just kind of looks at EY like, really? Did you not hear what I was just trying to say?
Yeah, he's like, I've been trying to go. Like, let me go, bro.
He's like, my bus is outside. I'm leaving. I guess not. So they're gonna, and I'm assuming they're gonna tape that tomorrow, and that'll be shown next week. But yeah, so we're getting EY and Josh versus. Well, I don't know if they're gonna change their name, but for now, I guess they're gonna call them the Northern Armory. And I heard some people say during the live reaction, and I thought this was an interesting concept, and it's believable, thinking maybe that EY would kind of take over for Josh as far as someone to guide them. And I'm like, well,
really? Really?
I don't know.
You got that?
No, I didn't say
like John Palmer says, was because I don't know how to click the comments, but was anyone shocked that they jumped Josh? And I'm gonna say no.
Oh.
Because they're scavengers.
Because it's wrestling. It's
wrestling. Well, yes, wrestling, but also like they just got that vibe that they're loyal to a point. And especially like not for nothing, Josh suddenly being so heel, and then suddenly being like, you know what, guys, I didn't really like that. I didn't feel right. Like it was all like smiles and maple syrup all over again. And I don't think they appreciate that, because it's like we've been heels all this time, and now all of a sudden you're like, I didn't really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like what was the point of this then, Yeah. And that's why they would attack.
Oh yeah.
It's betrayal on Josh's part.
It is. Yeah. So then why would they not, kind of lose their minds? Like, where's the Josh Alexander that brought us in?
Yeah. I'm sorry to get all deep and analytical about it, but
No, it's true. I mean, that just makes sense. Bell's Boy here says Eric Young will betray Josh next week and become the new leader of the Northern Armory. I'm calling it now. Well, we will see. We'll see.
We shall see.
And then Macklin will come out and go, yay! Who are these guys? I'm kidding.
Can I just say really quick before we move on to the next one, though? I really enjoyed, I don't know if anybody watched from the app, TNA Plus, but when they went to commercials, they would just show live feed of the crowd, and I kind of really appreciated that.
That was fun.
It was different.
That was fun. And speaking of live crowd, straight from San Antonio, Texas itself,
he made it.
He's here, Mr. Front Row Bill. By the way,
how's it going, everybody?
I love that hat.
Is it a moose hat? It is. I knew it.
It is.
I knew it. That is amazing. Did he autograph it? There you go. Nice.
There it is.
Wonderful. Good man.
That is cool. That is cool. So how you doing, Bill? How's the traveling down there?
Doing good. Good, great show. Not show. I know you guys were just talking. I was obviously noticing the same thing early on when we were seeing the screen. Like Basil first was like, "Hey, I'm getting messages. People are watching on the app, and they see me just standing there." And then I got a call during the second one from my buddy Dave, and he's like, "Hey, I see you waving me." But I think the whole thing of live television and a lot of the wrestling shows where they kind of just go to commercial and do like the wonky nothing stuff to just kind of burn through those times. I hope the app keeps that up and doesn't go to like the bumper, we'll be right back. Just live show what's going on, because you did see obviously during the main event, there was a match going on. So like you get to see that stuff. I know now people are doing the picture in picture and all that, but I think that's a cool little feature, just kind of having the feed. Like this is what it will be going on, which is very different. Obviously over the last 8 years, and that is one of the benefits of going to a TNA show, is there's no stopping. It just keeps on going. It's matches. It's the promos. There's no, and that's the thing. Like if you go to Monday Night Raw, if you go to those shows, a lot of downtime. Like you go to AEW, a lot of downtime. They did a good job of not having still a lot of downtime, like because there was usually stuff going on during a lot of them. There were some where it was kind of just milling about, but they weren't too long.
Yeah. So, so what was the general vibe in the show that night? Number one, it looked the stage looked amazing. And the
similar to Genesis. I was a little nervous because obviously they've been at this venue before. Like they were at this venue last year, and it looked fine. But I thought Genesis looked fantastic, like lighting wise. Like it was probably the best lit show in forever.
For sure.
But I do, going back and seeing it, like, once again, I didn't see it on an actual TV screen, but at least what I was seeing on the big screen, it was still pretty well lit. And I think that's one of the things people would always say is like, hey, can we get it more lit, especially with these big crowds? And it seems like that's the case. But I know people are talking about like the tunnel. Obviously we saw the tunnel go away at Genesis, and I know I was talking to the president before the show started, and same thing. It's like no tunnel, but I was saying it at Genesis. It's clean, and hey, we all get it. TNA has the history. They started the tunnel, that version of a tunnel. They got rid of it for years. AEW brought it back. Now it almost looked like, even though it's TNA's thing, since AEW's doing it, I would understand both TNA and even the WWE partners going, do we really want to associate ourselves with something that company's doing? So I think the clean look, forget about it. Just like the Six Sides, the time's passed.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah. And there's more than one reason for that, but yeah, absolutely. And it just everything had such a bigger feel to it. And I was saying to Alisha as we first started the show, and just the entrance, the lighting, all over the place. The crowd was there for it. They were really, they did it. It doesn't feel like they sat on their hands for any part.
No. And they brought it last time. That's obviously why they went back so quickly. Always a risk when you go back to a market pretty quickly. But it's a wrestling market, man, San Antonio. And no, they definitely brought it energy wise for sure. No, I got to give the kudos to the crowd. I know there was some other fans I was talking to as kind of like maybe we were in the building for a half hour, but just like everything, like it slowly builds, like because it was still pretty empty at that point. But it's like it will fill in. And then as kind of we got to And once just to kind of like the reason I'm here now was just to kind of let people know kind of how the taping schedule was. Pretty much taped about an hour before they went live, got Explosion in, got part of next week's episode in.
Okay.
And then pretty much after the live show, I don't know if they totally finished next week's episode, but they came close to it if they didn't.
Okay.
They very well may have completed all of next week's episode, other than obviously backstage and filler segments and stuff like that.
Well, they're still taping tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, remember, this needs to take us all the way to
February,
Orlando. Yeah, like they got a while to go. So I think they still got to knock out 3 weeks tomorrow. So they had to kind of get a second episode tonight. Right.
And we did mention that they're going to Full Sail, which is interesting. You know.
Yeah. Full circle for the NXT partnership.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. They're like they said during the show, NXT's neck of the woods.
But once again, it's a good production value. It's a good production venue. It's not a huge venue. Like that's one change, but it's also short notice. So I don't want to say it like this, but could Full Sail be the new Skyway? Maybe hitting that a couple times a year when the schedule fits.
Yeah.
Convenience. Obviously, a lot of the talent live in that area. And now with the NXT partnership makes it very convenient. Don't have to fly a lot of people around the country. So especially with this relationship going on, could I see them going the Full Sail twice a year, 3 times a year going forward?
Oh, I think
that's very reasonable. Maybe once a quarter or something like that. I don't think they'll kill it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're going to see it. Like, I know people will probably go, oh, that, because that's flies in the face of what they're doing. But I think you're going to see it maybe, especially with these new taping schedules, maybe it will be almost a follow-up, the Big Four. Maybe it'll be live pay-per-view, live Impact, followed by an Orlando set of tapings.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe after Rebellion in LA, they do a show that live that Thursday, next set of tapings, bam. But we'll see. But it's I'm not against it. Obviously, there's a lot of history in Florida, and there's a ton of wrestling, but especially with the partnership, it makes so much sense.
Well, yeah,
to have Florida be in the rotation.
Yeah, like
I can use my Universal season pass again.
There you go. Multitasker. But like I said to Alisha at the start of the show, it's like, this is a partnership. Use those resources that WWE and TKO has. Yeah, it only makes sense. So, okay, we can. Let's see here. We continue here with tag team match. The TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, taking on Moose and JDC with Alisha Edwards. Thoughts on this match and how it went down?
Go ahead, Bill.
I always have one thought when we get to this. This was always, it seems like every time we have a show, there's always a match or two that's just butting my favorites against each other. Obviously, a long-time Hardy guy, but also Moose has been my linchpin over this TNA era. But obviously, he's got his X Division title, so he's good. Mm-hmm. So tonight, obviously, the tag champs had to prevail. I'll tell you, I was surprised. You see JDC in a match, I assume he's taking the pin. He takes the pin. Does that lead into something? Does that lead into a Jeff Hardy X Division title match?
Now we're talking.
Bruce Hardy 1v1 dream match?
I said this during the live reaction when I saw that. I was like, shut up and take my money, man. I can't wait.
That's just really pulling at the old heartstrings for me.
It is
Jeff versus Moose, but I'm down for it. That feels like the tease with that result. So I hope we get it.
Yeah.
Maybe we get it in Florida. We'll see.
Yeah, whether they're still tag team champs or not, it don't matter. Just, I think I can speak for all of us and say that Jeff is doing his best stuff in several years here. He's working clean. He's staying in shape. He's in tune with what Matt's doing, and they look great together.
I'll tell you, obviously Genesis here, the last, I'm sure they're at the building right now, and they'll be there for the next hour and a half at least doing meet and greets.
Yeah.
But how over are the Hardys? I know, when Eric Young came back, and the whole comment was how do you not know how to use Eric Young? How do you not utilize him in a company? How do you not utilize the Hardys?
Right.
They're just a money printing enterprise. When they're all on the straight and narrow and it's just been this has been a boon. Them bringing that, obviously
a resurgence.
And bringing Jeff back. It's I don't think TNA could be happier with this deal. It's just
everybody wins.
TNA magic.
Yes.
It is.
Well put.
It really is, man. I love it. So yeah, then the lights go out. Now this was kind of the timing of this was weird. I don't know if this was how they wanted it to happen, but the lights go out as the Hardys are still kind of exiting. Jeff runs in front of the camera as the camera is on the announce table. Now you didn't see this, Bill, but the camera's on Raywalt and Hannafin, and all of a sudden, boom, someone runs past, and you can't tell his until you pull the camera back and it was Jeff. Jeff was just making his way around, but ran into between, and then the lights go out. The 23 thing happens, and then they go to break. And I'm like, wait, what? What?
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't read too much into the Jeff Hardy
just the
thing.
timing.
I think that was Jeff Hardy just doing his normal thing and honestly not even realizing they were doing their after commentary and just happened to run in front of the camera.
I just thought it was so funny that Jeff did.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I didn't think
that the beauty of a live show.
Right.
The beauty of a live show.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the same thing with the classic Batista, doing stuff in front of the camera, and all of a sudden some kid runs past and starts flexing and then takes off, and security runs after him. And Batista's like, what? It's the same thing.
Say, what
but yeah, so the lights go out. The 23 thing happens. They go to commercial break, and I'm like, I don't know if that was timed right. I feel like
their timing was just off.
I think they should have went to break and then played the 23 thing, and then have Callahan or run down and be like, whoa, what was that? What happened? That's a horrible.
Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm not tripping out.
Yeah. Who's doing this? So, but who it ends up being, and it's hilarious how this actually played out, because who comes out is Steph DeLander.
She's 23.
She's right, but she's not just.
It was always
20.
the date. It was always the date.
It was the date of stuff happening.
It was never BC.
Yeah.
Oh, but was I worried there for a second?
It was never Baron Corbin, with the letters 2 and 3 BC, right?
What a wonderful surprise!
So, and just let's think about this for a second. If things didn't play out the way they did over the last couple weeks, especially at that other show that played during Genesis, if things didn't play out like that, how they would have played, I think it would have really not.
Well, here's the thing.
It wouldn't have been.
Do you think they audible? Do you think this was it?
I think this was it. I think this was it, but it just came off differently because of what people knew now.
Yeah.
So like Steph DeLander shows up, and number one, welcome back, Steph DeLander. You look great. She didn't have a neck brace on, nothing. She just looked great.
Yeah.
Okay? And she goes, look what I won in the divorce. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, they went there like Degrassi, bro.
I was like, oh, and it looked great. It wasn't smashed. So whatever he smashed wasn't even the real thing because, anyways. Yeah.
We got a couple sitting around.
Good luck in your future endeavors, PCO. We thought we knew thee well. She comes down and she goes, I won this in divorce. And so that right there was a bam. And she goes, now I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend. And it's like, oh. And I'm like, okay, it's Corbin.
No.
Oh.
It's better. It's better.
It is.
It's a real thing. It's a real boyfriend.
Because
it's a real boyfriend.
Shoot, baby, shoot.
And I've heard that before, but it was like so long ago and few and far in between. I'd completely forgotten about it. I didn't realize that.
Old Mancer.
Old Mancer. I love Old Mancer. I am. If for those of you that watched me,
you're in for a treat.
MLW on the old Smash This podcast. I love Old Mancer. Huge fan. And I even quickly talked during the live reaction about the match that took place between Sami Callihan and Mance Warner at MLW right outside Milwaukee that I was at, and the fight went right past my nose. So that was
past your nose.
Right past my nose. The nose. Yeah, John Palmer here. That was a real kiss. Yes, that was a real kiss.
Although, who is also having shades of Davey Richards and Angelina Love during all that? Oh, remember they're like the Ghost Wolves gimmick. That's all they did was make out in the ring.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alisha.
Yes, Alisha.
I just want to address this comment, Gregory Ford. Alisha better get ready when Mance cut a promo. She thought Stone Cold had a son. I've seen Mance Warner wrestle in Tournament of Death in person, so very well aware of who Mance Warner is.
Mance, baby.
Like, come on, bro.
Beers and lariats.
Yeah, and for those of
He's just a simple man. He's just a simple man.
He is. And for those of you that
look up his promos on YouTube, it's just so fun.
His AAW stuff that Trent helped produce in Chicago, priceless. Please go take some time and go check it out. But yeah. And this is funny. I didn't recognize him. It took a hot second.
Oh, because of the hair?
Yeah. He used to look like this. Old Mancer was bald.
He was. So, he's had hair for a while now. Like, but yeah, the first time seeing it was kind of and I assume he's still because he's an interesting story. Like,
yeah,
like he's like a shoot guidance counselor at like a high school or something. That's like crazy.
Holy cow! I didn't know that. Yeah, there we go.
The lore of Mancer, man.
Yeah, from Bucksnort, Tennessee. It's like, is like there's a town called Bucksnort. Well, whether it exists or not, it exists in the world of Old Mancer. So
there you go.
Yeah. So welcome, Mance Warner. I am
natural fit for TNA.
I am salivating at the chance to see these two tear it up again. I'm going to be the guy on the edge of my seat going, yes, rip each other's head off, please.
And another guy, like you're going to get another guy that gets into the violence, the hardcore. Like if Like, if you are worried, like, hey, if PCO is not around, who's going to be picking up some of that slack? Mancer's going to be picking up a lot of that slack. Don't you worry about it. And honestly, a thing with Sammy needs that too. Like, get Sammy back in his world.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, great to see it, and we'll we'll see how involved Steph Deander gets with this, as far as we don't know exactly how healthy she is as far as being cleared or whatever, but it's nonetheless
it might just be a manager role.
Yeah. It's great to see her. Period. It's just
I feel like a couple of weeks ago we were saying how even if they just bring her back in something like this, some kind of way, so she could work through injury train of thought where she doesn't have to wrestle or anything. She's a great addition to the roster, so it'd be useful to keep her going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And whether she gets back to the ring or not, we don't know. But yeah, it's great to see her. Yeah. So, all right. But yeah, so sorry, Bill. We're gonna have to wait on that dream of Corbin coming. Maybe someday. Sorry.
Although I was talking to another fan and we were talking about that, and there was a scenario that I would have okayed. Like a intentionally short contract of like no longer than like a Jonah contract of like 6 months or less, just to feed them to Joe Hendry.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, because my whole issue was if you're bringing him in on like a full year or longer as a main event player, beyond zero interest.
Okay.
If he were to come in as like a mid-carder, work his way, I think that could be a potential something, but that just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to reinvent himself. And hey, do the Drew Galloway McIntyre. Like, a guy that was handpicked to be the man, it did not work out for him in WWE, leaves, hits the indies, comes to TNA and hones his character to become a megastar, and then goes back and is a megastar. So it can be done, but that's too much TNA of 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Bringing in a guy that got a push up there, didn't work out, then paying him too much money to not work out at your company.
Yeah.
Not going to bring the eyeballs. Like the Hardys, pay up. People, pay up. Or give people chances. That's just not one I'd be in a wait and see attitude unless it was a very finite program.
Right. So then Ariana Grace is gracing the desk of Tom Hannafin and Matthew Raywald.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Good to see her. Yeah. And so out comes, we got the next tag team match here. We got NXT's tag team championships on the line. Fraxium. I am sorry. I am still not used to that name. But I get why they named him that.
What does Fraxium mean?
It's Frazer and Axiom put together.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Yeah, trust me, I had the same when I saw that. I'm like, Fraxium? What the frax? Versus the Rascalz. So two fast moving tag teams. I'm like, let's go. Let's tear it up. So this was a lot of fun. What did you guys think of this match? And we'll get to the post stuff in a second, but match wise, what did you think?
I missed this one. You guys talk it over.
Well, this was I'd say, I got to think, if any, that this may have been the match tonight.
Okay.
Great tag action. Good back and forth. Like, it was a great. I almost can't give a match of the night because of the ending. But it was a very well done tag match. Very athletic.
Yeah.
Fraxium, I only saw them a little bit previously, so very impressed. Rascalz, always good. Crowd was really into it. But then obviously you had Wesley and his people get involved and obviously cause a distraction. Axiom really didn't pick up on any of this. So it's one of those, they got the advantage of the distraction, but didn't really know it. Sort of like Nick Nemeth at Bound for Glory with Joe Hendry.
Right.
So it just wasn't a completely clean win, but it wasn't through them doing underhanded tactics, but
Right.
it was NXT people doing underhanded tactics. So
it was. I'm going to do a deep dive on this just for a moment. Number one, for those of you that did watch NXT this past Tuesday, I will say this. And after I say this, I think you'll completely understand this. I think it's a miracle. Just bear with me here. It is an absolute miracle of God that Wes Lee showed up at this event. And the reason why I say that is because the slap that he took from one Trick Williams during that episode. Oh my God. When I watched that segment back where, he starts talking shit about Trick Williams after Trick Williams walks in the locker room, and then Trick Williams walks up to him and cracks him so hard that Wes Lee literally just collapses into the arms of his boys. Hang on. Who is it here? Tyreek and Tyson. That's the two guys.
yeah, if I guessed, that would have been a very bad guess. If I tried to name his guys.
I had to look it up here, so that's but yeah, how Wesley showed up for this is a miracle. It's because that slap was louder than the slap heard around the world. My God,
slap heard around the Performance Center.
So. Oh, if you have not seen this slap, please go look it up on YouTube. Please,
it's an all-time slap. You're building this slap up, J-Bone.
It's a record-breaking slap.
All right.
Well, if you saw Wes Lee's face when he comes out to the ring after the slap and the handprint is still on the side of his face.
Like a good handprint after a slap.
Whew.
Good sport.
Yeah, he is.
Make it look real. Bet.
Oh, this was real. This is as real as wrestling gets, let me tell you. It wasn't a missing sound effects like Hollywood. So yeah, Wesley shows up with his boys, distracts the ref. And Axiom wins. So I feel like they're gonna run this one back at some point, but for now, Rascalz have to deal with Wesley again, which I think is hilarious. It's like, man, they just can't get away from this. Swag fan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Trick slapped the dog shit out of Wesley.
Oh, jeez.
Can I get an amen? Absolutely. Totally did. So you know what I'm talking about. Hey, here we go. Mr. David Penzer, good evening.
Oh, there he is.
Bill reviews the hotel.
David Penzer's favorite segment. Well, this is a little unique that Bill reviews the hotel. Because when I obviously went to Genesis, I've stayed in the same hotel in Dallas at Garland this whole time. I only came to San Antonio today. And I actually drove right from the hotel. I checked out of the hotel this morning and drove right to the show in San Antonio. I didn't even check in.
Oh.
So I checked in literally 5 minutes before I came on this show tonight.
Nice.
So I just pretty much put the laptop on, sat down, and there I go. So, but I have stayed here before when they were here last time. I stayed at the same hotel, the Executive Inn, part of the local Army base, but very affordable. Actually, where I stayed at a where would I stay? I stayed at a Holiday Inn in Garland, which is, for me, maybe splurging a little bit. So this is more my own, because I'm only obviously staying tonight, because I'll check out tomorrow, go to the show, then drive back to San Antonio, drive back to Dallas after the show tomorrow night, and hop on a 5 a.m. flight back to Philly. Get home get home in the early morning Saturday, get a full Saturday. So yeah, and then Sunday, go Birds.
Eagles.
Oh yeah. I was doing the Go Birds with Tom Hannafin.
Now, who are they? Who are
they're hosting those Washington Commanders, an interdivision rivalry.
Oh. Is that the former Redskins?
Correct.
I still can't get over that, but don't get me started on that. Great to see you, David.
Yes. And I know, Jay, you were not on the last show where we were obviously talking about ring announcer and stuff like that. I know that was one of the names he did throw out there. The return to TNA, obviously she was not really a ring announcer. I think technically she only did it once, maybe that Lucha Underground show with Melissa Santos co-ring announcing. But Mackenzie Mitchell, I know that was one of his picks. I think he said either Mackenzie Mitchell or Sam Laterna. He was thinking it would be. Okay. But Mackenzie Mitchell, obviously, I thought she did a great job at Genesis, and then tonight as well. So glad to see Mackenzie back in the fold, in the family. Yeah. If not, obviously, for the GOAT, David Penzer. So
you're right. And look, my thought is you don't have to have the biggest voice in the business. You don't have to you don't have to blow your vocal cords out on every every ring announcement like some out there. You gotta have a nice voice, something pleasant, and I think that's what she has, Yeah, maybe is she the best? Maybe not, but she's good. So, yeah. So welcome back, Mackenzie. Yeah. Oh, critical sting. That's horrible. Oh yeah, Christy Hemme is another one. Yeah. That's. I was thinking.
Well, she's there. Obviously, she's there. She works at the company, but my guess that might be a thing. Maybe she does not want to do anymore. But you gotta think of the long term, and I think that's what they're doing. So
she probably wouldn't have an issue with it as long as Austin Aries doesn't come back. If you know, you know. All right. So yeah. Next, Mike Santana comes out. Great to see him. And of course, he's talking about his win over Josh Alexander. And man, it wasn't just a win. It was a win in a I Quit match. And I'll tell you what, Santana's got some bragging rights. And he's allowed to have these. He took who is the golden standard of TNA for years, guys, and made him quit the company. And so he's riding a high on this now, and he once again says he's setting his sights in 2025, to keep up that, being the standard. and to win the TNA World Championship, when who comes out? Mustafa
We're saying
Ali.
it here. We were saying it here early on this show that he was coming back, and it's official.
It is. And he announces that he is signed. He put pen to paper.
Pen to paper. Pen to paper.
Guys, Ali is back. What do you think?
The campaign.
I had a feeling he'd be showing up sooner or later. It's like, especially because when he kind of disappeared, it was very abrupt. So kind of like a to be continued kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never, I expected him to go to other pastures then, greener or not, but that wasn't the case. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he worked a few indie dates, but I didn't really see anything from him anywhere.
He worked local for the most part. He showed up at a couple shows, but he mainly worked local, like Chicago area for the most part. I know he started, I think, at school or something. So he was doing some other stuff with his time. But hey, that's a big TNA win right there. Ali under contract, because that's a guy that everybody was interested in, everyone wanted a kind of a part of, and he had a great X Division run. Put a lot into that title. So I'm looking forward to it. That's like, you're talking once again, playing bigger venues, trying to get on bigger TV platforms, which I know that was a hot topic in the news cycle that we were discussing today. The campaign about TNA taking all of the WWE TV deals. But guys like Ali, that helps. Like, once again, like they're kind of hitting everything right now. Like, have some, and I know we always talk about at the end of the year, some people's contracts expire, some people leave, but man, they're retooling on the fly, and they're like, for what you can do out there, what's available, who has relationships with the company, who doesn't. It'd be tough for me to say that's not, like, I think we all agree that was a guy to bring back. Like, great run, try to retain him going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and just the fact that he didn't just automatically jump back into the X division and went up against, is now facing a guy who has big, aspirations of the future of this year to at least stay on top in the company and go for that top title. And Ali shows up and completely disrespects him. Doesn't even look at him. Doesn't reference Mike. Nothing. Mike's just sitting in the corner like, this guy. Who are you again? No, I'm sure he knew who he was, but man, yeah, just put some respect on Mike's name. Jeez.
The standard. No respect for the standard.
No respect for the standard. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting feud. This is almost one that you want to, like, you're excited for the future of Mike Santana, and yet you're happy Ali is back. Who the hell do you root for? I'm just stoked to see the match, because both guys can't win. I'm sorry to say.
Surely.
So
the campaign continues.
Yeah, the campaign continues. Next, the Undeniable Diamond comes out. Heavy stuff here, guys. And this crowd let her have it too. Tessa Blanchard comes out and gives us a little dose of history, which I actually kind of liked. Love her or hate her, she gave you some facts on the history of wrestling in this particular area. And I do love the fact that Tully was there. They showed him, he didn't walk out with her. They showed him seated back,
in the back,
somewhere. He wasn't in the front row, which is where typically you would put an icon like him. But he humbly stayed back. He's like, this is which is proper. This is her time.
That's exactly right. He's not trying to get the rub.
Right.
That tells you that's a guy from the business.
Yeah.
It's obvious. And that's obviously what Tessa comes from.
Yeah.
Which seems to obviously has given a lot of people that impression of her. Because she is the third generation. People tend not to look at that favorably a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Earned or not earned, but it does tend to go that way. You almost get a reputation before you're even doing anything. But I thought this was, obviously, we've seen Tessa for a while here before this return. And I know I was probably the broken record on this podcast about bringing her back that whole time. But, man, I think this might have been her best promo ever.
It was. Because it showed a dose of realism with her.
She's playing in. She's playing into the heat. And that's what you got to do. If you tried not to play into it, it would not work. But, working that match at Genesis with getting all the boos, obviously she's getting some support. I think she got a little more support tonight from the crowd. Once again, still majority boos.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I think you got, just like she was saying in her promo, you got to still she is a star. It's obvious. That was the whole thing this whole time. When she was here the first time, when she was gone, when you talk about, we need knockouts, you need a Mickey James, you need a Gail, you need names, you need superstar type appeal. Jordan Grace did have that. Tessa's got that.
Yeah.
And she's got a ton of it. Love her, hate her, she's got it. And it oozes the it factor with her.
Right.
It's just, it's.
And she showed that
everyone's seeing it. Everyone's seeing it.
She showed that at Genesis, and I haven't talked a lot. I wasn't on with you guys for Genesis, but I'll say this: Jordan Grace versus Tessa was my favorite match, and it was because of how those two worked together. It was hard hitting. It was a fight. It was Jordan Grace giving absolutely everything she had because she knew this was her last match in the company. And it was also a dose of Tessa Blanchard saying, just in case you guys forgot what I can do in the ring, let me remind you. And so you get both clashing like that. It's emotion, it's passion, it's all that rolled up into one massive match. And don't get me wrong, I love seeing Joe Hendry win, but for wrestling itself, it's Tessa versus Grace had it. That was it for me.
That was an excellent match.
What'd you think of this promo, Alisha?
Thought it was good.
Okay.
I really, I mean, you know what I mean? I think you guys already nailed it in full. It was a good little history lesson while also playing up that she is that biatch.
Yeah. And if you guys like the new, her new entrance theme, it is on YouTube. It just got released, a few days ago. Mayor, if you wouldn't mind reminding the folks out there, because I already forgot who it is. But yeah, it's a poppin' song. It's a poppin' song. I love it.
Yeah, I believe the singer, I think, was at Genesis. I think she may have been in the crowd.
I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, so nonetheless, we continue, and no one. See, now I thought somebody was gonna like interrupt her. That would be typical. No one interrupted her.
Nope.
She came out, spoke her stuff, and that was it. So, but it was great. I loved it. So, you know, and look, it's there's always going to be people that are not on board with her, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, we're not telling you have to be on board with Tessa. We're just telling you, hey, we see the talent, we see what she's given to be back in this company. You know, so you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
No, and like
you're not gonna satisfy everyone.
No, and obviously you bringing in kind of a lot of real emotion into this, with not kind of like scurrying away from everything. But it's also a timeline thing. I think people get lost in a lot of this over the years, but a lot of stuff that people like the attempts to get on Tessa are stuff still that were pre her winning the world title at TNA.
Yeah.
Like all like the stuff that happened, like why she wasn't in TNA was all about COVID stuff and her being in Mexico and stuff like that with the world title and not. But once again, all things that weren't good at the time, but time heals all wounds. Like the Hardys are back. Like a lot of these things that you can get over these things in wrestling.
Yeah.
I think that's what's evidence. Now, obviously, we just had that with PCO, so who knows? But there's always these things.
Here we
like
go.
you get over almost everything.
All right. So thank you, Mayor. Undeniable Forever by Crystal Poppin. And I guess I wasn't lying because I said I was Poppin. There you go. Her name's Poppin.
Poppin.
So thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. So this is, I'm going to have to do a screenshot of this. And then I'll remember it. There we go.
There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, go look that up on YouTube. She's in the video. It's all pardon the pun, it's all ego. It's great. Great. And no, Ethan Page is not in the video.
Oh yeah, and then here, like once again, like Aaron Jack mentions it, talking about her world title reign. They do kind of have to at least tease that. I'm not saying you gotta have to have a match, but definitely the Sammy Tessa, because that never did get closure.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to kind of have something to have that with some closure. Like maybe she winds up interfering in a match, especially now with Mance. Like, who knows? They do a tag match, right? When Steph's ready to come back in ring. Steph and Mance, Sammy and Tessa.
Oh, man. That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. Yeah. Yeah, whether it's Sammy, or maybe Sammy brings back his main squeeze. And
oh yeah, they always have Havoc too. Could go that way, and then Tessa gets involved.
Yeah,
screw Sammy over.
There you go. There we go. We'll see. All right, now main event time here. I don't think there was anything in between here. No. We got oh goodness. First defense, the TNA World Championship. Joe Hendry versus always ready, Matt Cardona.
Mid Cardona.
Mid Cardona. Oh, but not tonight. Not tonight, man. He is main eventing.
He's main Cardona.
He is main eventing Cardona. Yes, absolutely. So I love it. I thought the match was good. I felt like it was a pretty even playing field when you look at both of these talents, you know, styles too, you know, styles of wrestling. the question was, okay, this is your first night back on live TV. What is going to happen during this main event? Is it just going to be a clean main event? Is JBL going to rear his ugly head again? What is going to happen here? What did you guys think of the main event?
Crowd was excited. Crowd was excited for this one, and you got to be, obviously. That this has been the lead up we've had this whole time, was crowning Joe Hendry as champion, and we got it. And Cardona was a nice surprise, although I did have a little bit of an idea, because at the merch stand there were Matt Cardona shirts. Matt Cardona shirts for sale. I'm like,
okay,
what's that doing here? What are they doing here? They fall off the back of a truck, but it's good to see him, because obviously, and he always, for a live show, obviously a lot of interest, a lot of followers. Like if he committed to TNA for another run, I wouldn't be against that from Cardona. He does bring eyes to the product, especially now, and where, like, because I don't know, what are we saying right now? Like, who? Steph Deander said she, because she got in a divorce, is technically the digital media champion.
Well, she said she's 23. I don't know. Did she say that she's the?
She got the belt in the divorce.
So she is
the champion, and so I guess that would mean Mance. That's why Mance would be coming in, because he's going to be her surrogate for the matches.
So that's what it seems like. But obviously, you could get Cardona with the previous existing Steph Deander storyline and him involved back in there. So you definitely have some room for him, because he obviously is a natural fit for that division. Because obviously, and that's the other thing going into this, was that going to stay around? But getting back to the main event, obviously Joe Hendry here, like, it's all about Joe Hendry as champion, and this was a good one. Like, I think everyone was excited to see his first defense, a very credible opponent, not just like somebody in the middle of the division or something. But no, I thought they had a good match there. Obviously, it was more back and forth. Now, this is really, I think, the best instance tonight, if it translates how I think it did. If you were watching on the app, if you were watching on TNA Plus, you got to hear all the, like, Cardona cut a promo during the first commercial break. They did a lot of wrestling during the commercial break. So that was a key in this match on how it was presented.
Well, see, like on TNA Plus, during the commercial breaks, they always had like a camera like way up in the corner of the arena, just showing the whole thing.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like you
couldn't hear them
or anything, and you couldn't hear them. But but at least you see what's going on. So, you couldn't hear the promo. I figured you would just hear it through the arena sound.
Oh no,
that promo to begin.
No, it was just a live shot of the lights kind of going.
Okay,
yeah,
no sound.
Which it looked great. Don't get me wrong, it looked great. But yeah. So, well, for example, when the Iceman came down with the cowboy hat.
Oh yes.
I was like, it was really hard to tell who that was. It was like,
you're like, who's wearing a cowboy hat?
Yeah, I'm like, is that HBK? I'm like, it's San Antonio. Better be HBK. Oh no, it's Iceman. Uh-oh. Alicia's got a face. What's the matter?
I'm offended. But it's just a joke. Don't make me part of your jokes, period. Asshole.
Uh-oh. Who is it?
No, it's fine. Handled clearly, but
okay.
We're not friends like that.
Oh, okay. All right. So but yeah, so JBL comes down again.
JBL.
And I'm like, it's live.
Through the crowd.
He comes through the crowd like he has in the past. And he just knocks out Matt Cardona, and then has like at least what feels like a 30-second. It's not 30-second, but it feels like a 30-second stare down with Joe Hendry. So it's probably like a 5-second stare down. So it's like
they were looking eye to eye.
What the? And there was like no like facial recognition of approval, disapproval. Joe just looked at him like he was just angry, like he was mad.
Like,
there was
what are you doing?
Yeah. It was so I'm like, I've said this before about this storyline. It's like, man, it's shit or get off the pot time. Let's go. Let's go with this. Let's figure this out. Tonight should have been the night to do it. Tonight should have been some kind of like more of a reveal. Because I mean, if you went after this thinking, oh, well then he was behind Joe the whole time. No, that this doesn't prove anything. It just
I think it proves it's all about JBL.
It is, but it's like, and they're spending a lot of time in Texas, but I'm like, what is going on?
We still don't have an answer. Although there's still plenty to be taped, so we'll see what winds up being revealed. But there's still we need more of an answer on JBL. Like if the JBL thing is just him showing up doing clotheslines for like the next foreseeable months, I just don't know how long they can keep that up. Like we got to know what's the end game here, Joe?
Right.
Or John Bradshaw Layfield, whatever we call you these days.
Or put another face behind it. JBL comes out, clotheslines, whatever, just fill in the blank, and then someone else comes down and goes, "Ha ha! This is all my game all along." It's something, anything. At this point, make it Santino Marella, like my old friend JBL. I don't know, anything. Just give me an answer. I don't know. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on the end of this, Alisha?
What the fuck is going on?
Nobody knows, other than JBL.
Yeah, right.
But I'm sure others know, and that's going to be the big reveal on what's the angle here, and maybe
is it him and Joe Hendry? Has he been helping Joe Hendry all this time?
Well, he did it at Bound for Glory. He cost them the match at Bound for Glory.
Because my original guess was that him and Ryan had like some kind of underplot. Because Ryan's acting weird and he's going to turn on Nick, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Ryan could be a part of this because he is acting weird.
Weird.
For his brother. And he goes down like a sack of potatoes every time he gets punched by JBL. Like, he's a great
cell.
But he drops like. Yeah, he's like a cartoon drop when he gets punched by JBL.
It is. It's better than Flair. And Flair used to be the best drop in wrestling. Now it's Ryan Nemeth. So that's the show. Joe Hendry, and it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It just, this storyline is it's starting to irk me. I'm enjoying it. I love seeing JBL. Like it's one of those things I love to hate, because part of me still will always be angry at JBL for taking Eddie's title. I'm still on therapy over that, damn it. So I just want this to go somewhere. I'm willing to wait because I trust the process. I just was hoping tonight would be okay. We got the answer. It is what it is.
I'm giving it to the end of Texas.
Yeah. Right. Which will be the next, like, what I'm guessing, few weeks of TV.
Yeah. So we still got a bit.
Yeah. And they'll tape stuff tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so Joe Hendry does have a successful but tainted defense. Because he was celebrating. He's standing up on the turnbuckle and he wasn't even happy about it.
No, he was not happy about it.
He had this like, damn it.
There were shenanigans there, obviously, because Cardona was trying to get away with some stuff with good friend Daniel Spencer of the show, getting the bump. So JBL evened the playing field, so to speak. He didn't really give him a huge advantage. I'd say he more just even the playing field. But once again, we've seen it go back and forth with JBL. So, and I know people are talking about JBL's been training, acting like he's going to be getting back in the ring. And if that's the play, if we're getting like JBL versus Joe Hendry at Rebellion or something like that, that's fine. I'm down with that. I'll do a short JBL main event title challenger to put over Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great. I think the fans would love that.
Like, I will never knock JBL's talent. I will never knock his talent. I can call him an asshole all I want. I will not deny his talent. So
yeah, it's another guy. Like it's reactions. This is a business of reactions.
Yeah,
and that's like we talked Tessa earlier. JBL gets reactions, and he isn't even talking right now. And a lot of times it's his talking that gets reactions. This is just JBL just huffing and puffing and walking around and clotheslining people. But no, I think they can definitely utilize this. That's the thing. That's why you just want to see like a lot of build for this, a long time, a lot of time developing into this. You want to get that payoff. And if it is an angle where he's actually wrestling and putting Joe over, so be it. But is it going to be like where he's somehow part of Anthem or management or something like that? That's another angle. And how's that play out?
Is a corporate JBL. Oh, no.
Corporate JBL. Oh, no, you son of a gun.
He's from an Anthem. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. We'll see. We'll see in the days and weeks to come. But hey, that is the review for our
live
TNA first live show in 8 years, folks. Psyched. Great to see everyone here. Looked like some great numbers tonight. Thank you all for joining. It was also great, especially to have all three of us back together, and feels good. I've got my old schedule back per my manager, so thank you. I got my Tuesdays and Thursdays off now, so I can podcast.
The boat is back
with both my crews that I love, my boys, and on Tuesdays, and my TNI crew on Thursdays. I couldn't be happier. So
welcome back, Bone Man.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. Took some patience, but we got through the holidays, and we are here now.
Well, all we needed is a little patience.
That's right. So the song says. So for Alisha and Bill, I'm the Bone Man, J-Bone. Thank you. Make sure on your way out, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. We thank our sponsor, Manscaped. That link is in the description of the video as well. Along with the code, get your 20% off plus free shipping using code TNI. I'll be calling them soon. And go check out some TNI merch. Those links are in the description as well. Another great way to help support the show going into the new year. Get yourself some new, fresh merch. All right. Take care, everyone. Much love.